totally identify with lack of identity. I have been through some very traumatic experiences in my life, and I'm sure you have as well. We don't realize how these traumatic events or circumstances in our lives can affect our identity and shift us away from keeping us aligned, from our talents, our skills, our passions, our values. We either lower them, we settle for mediocrity, or we actually shift into someone else's beliefs and behaviors to keep the peace. Or we just keep quiet and suppress our emotions. We don't express our voices any longer. And before we know it, we don't even know who the hell we are. And it's very sad, but we can shift it. But first, let's have a look at why you could have a lack of identity. I'll also be talking about 6 powerful steps you can take to boost your self-identity. That between gaps, all the steps to progress to become the identity that you want to be. My name is Tanya Sutherland. If you like this kind of content, it's all about finding your self-image, your self-identity through style, through that inner work, outer work, that whole transformation of you becoming your best version. Please don't forget to press the subscribe button down below and leave any comments. I'd love to come back to you. I'll also leave the link down below of my entire clothing pattern collection that I have for those that sew and design their own wardrobe. En vir ons wonderlike Suid-Afrikaners, ek stuur baie liefde en groete. En asseblief moenie vergeet om die druk daar rooi knoppie daaronder. Ek sal dit baie waardeer. Dankie skatsies. Let's get started. Number 1 could be a marriage. You could be marrying into a certain culture, a certain type of religion that you don't really quite fit in, but you've adapted and trying to adopt this new mannerism and behavior. Is it a happy marriage? Are you being suppressed? Are you allowed to voice your opinion? Are you allowed to be yourself? Are you allowed to be independent? Number 2 would be divorce, a shattering experience for most people. When you get divorced, you're suddenly losing your identity of being married. Suddenly, you don't have that unity anymore, and many other reasons of going through a divorce, that suddenly you don't have that lifestyle, that house, the car, the finances, the money, the social life, the friends that you used to have. All of that went with the divorce, leaving you totally feel unworthy. Self-esteem takes an absolute dip. It affects your identity because you think. The third one would be loss. A loss of a loved one that is exceptionally traumatic, because once again, you could be used to having that partner in your life. You did things together. Your identity was with that person. You had friends together, or maybe that person also helped to take care of you financially, and that person's not there anymore. Leave a lot of emotions with you. You feel regret, you feel guilt, you feel anger, you feel alone, you feel disconnected, you feel unloved. All those emotions will trigger lots of inner anxiety, and sort of limiting beliefs will start stepping in, that you're not good enough, that, you know, why is this happening to me, victim mode. All these things will start to surface as well. Here's a biggie, moving. I didn't realize how moving can really affect your identity. From being a certain person, a certain place, knowing certain people or a lot of people, and they all got to know you, and you got this like social life, you know, where everything is, and now you move to a completely new area, or to an area that you absolutely dislike, don't like at all, or an area that you do like, but it's a whole new identity, new people, a new language, everything is new, the shops are different, the streets, the avenues, everything is totally different. The whole move of letting go, starting somewhere else, that change factor is quite devastating. So a lot of people don't want to change. And also when you move, maybe you need to get rid of a lot of things. Like in my case, I am going overseas. I am immigrating to the USA in the next 2.5 months, and I have sold just about everything. And there are days I wake up and I go, I can do this and that, and I haven't got this anymore, I haven't got it anymore. And I'm not a sentimental person, but let me tell you, it has shocked my identity, because I am no longer the business owner, the teacher, the educator, what I was doing and supplying boutiques with clothing. You know, all my courses and workshops I was doing, to completely all stop that now. Now I'm focusing on my transformation coaching. I don't have a studio to work in anymore. I don't have my big home anymore that I used to have, my big house with big garden with lots of birds looking over to the mountains, to now staying in a small confined apartment. It's a huge shift, and let me tell you, it can cause lack of motivation and desire. You think, what the hell, it's not worth it. So yes, I understand how you can have lack of identity just from moving or any other traumatic event that happens in your life. Losing your job, it can mean you're losing your stability, you're losing your identity, because or whatever position that you held in that position, you are no longer that. You are now unemployed, and that shock of, can you take care of yourself the next month, the next few months, or maybe only for the next few months? So you're kind of like shattered. It's like a carpet that's been pulled from underneath you. Starting a new job, there can also be a complete identity shift. In a previous position, you were very confident, comfortable, knew what you were doing, knew what you had to do. Now it's a whole new position, new dynamics, new people. You need to fit in, and you first got to find yourself and see what kind of people that are you interacting with, what kind of company, what kind of values they have. And that can also make you feel that I don't quite fit in here. Creating a new career or starting a new business, that can also cause a lot of self-doubt, doubting yourself, your limiting beliefs coming in, forms of anxiety that you're not good enough. And remember, self-identity is about your self-image. It's like, what do you think about yourself? How do you feel about yourself? How do you think the world sees you? How do you see yourself? It's all from those inner thoughts, those limiting beliefs, and all that bullshit you're telling yourself that's sort of inside of you portrays outwards. It affects your identity. Midlife crisis or crossroads. This could happen from the age of 30, 40, 50, 60. It doesn't matter. It is a crossroads where your higher self is telling you, stop. You are not on track. You're not happy. You have been miserable or just existing. You have lost who you are. You need to stop, smell the friggin' roses, and just think and reflect and make those changes. Now you can do small little steps to create that new identity, but first it's awareness. The last one, which is quite a sad one, is substance abuse. An overabuse of drugs, alcohol, any form of let's say, chemical induced substance that you've taken for a long time, and it's affected your mind, it's affected the way that you live, the way that you see yourself. You probably lost your identity, your self-esteem, self-worthiness, everything has gone down with your identity. That is really a hard one to pull yourself up, but you can do it. It's about you becoming aware of it and making small steps and changes every single day. So these are the reasons why you could have a lack of identity, and it could be from trauma, experiences, crisis, things happening in your life. We'll survive. It's about you becoming aware of what caused that shift in identity. Who do you want to become? Journaling or a vision board or both. Journal the way you feel. Journal how you want to become, and journal affirmations and say them every single day, that eventually your whole inner self, your subconscious, your conscious mind starts to hear these beautiful affirmations. It's going to uplift your vibes, your vibrations, as we speak about all the time. Remember, the way you feel is the way you're going to act and portray to the world. You need to change the way that you feel. Even if you have to fake it through affirmations, saying things you really don't feel that is you, or you don't quite feel aligned to it yet because you don't really feel as happy as what the words are, just say it and do it all the time. Something needs to change from the way that you've been to something new. It's never easy, but every time you do it, and the more you do it, it's like that locomotive. The more it starts to turn the wheels, it might be a bit stiff and tight the first few, sort of like, the motion of it going, and before you know it, it's going to be a lot quicker and smoother for you. It's part of change, and change is never easy. And to stay stuck in a stuck identity that does nothing for you, that is worse. That is just existing. That's like being in a prison cell. You want more for yourself. So let's have a look at a couple of ideas for you to boost your self-confidence and to help shift your identity. You need to learn to set healthy boundaries for yourself and those that are around you. You need to learn to say that I don't accept this. This is not good enough for me. I don't like that behavior. And of course, you also need to look at yourself to make sure that your behavior is intact, that you're not stepping over someone else's boundaries. It's about respect both ways. The next one would be is you need to learn to say fucking no. And I know how hard that is. I'm a mother, and sometimes I think I'm helping them, by giving. And no, that could be enabling. You need to empower the people around you as well as yourself. And the more you say yes to everybody, more of yourself just away freely. What about leaving some energy and time for yourself? People could be abusing your kindness. They could be absolutely abusing you financially or emotionally. You need to learn to say no. And when that is happening. You can listen and you can actually feel it inside your gut. Tell me I'm wrong? You know it's there. You just need to be aware of it. Self-talk, that is very important, through affirmations that you are amazing, that you are successful, that you do have abundance in your life, that you are worthy of love, you are worthy of a better life, that you are worthy of success. You are absolutely amazing. Find these affirmations and self-talk. The minute you become aware of these negative thoughts that you're saying to yourself that, I'm not going to get out of bed today, I don't feel like getting dressed up, what's the point? Shift that, because when you're thinking that, you can actually feel how your gut actually gets into a tight knot. You can feel how your whole demeanor and energy just sinks down. We are talking about uplifting our energies. Remember, we're electromagnetic. We want to create higher vibrations that we can connect with the cosmic creation, manifesting with different quantum levels, that we can connect with higher vibrations, that when we manifest something, we're stepping into the quantum physics, and it's actually attracting, that it's aligned with our vibrations, and it is bringing it into our lives. So be aware of what you are thinking, because everything is connected with our emotional vibrations that we are sending out. We are spiritual beings in this human body, and sometimes we act like humans where we're just full of shit and we feel sorry for ourselves and we fall into this victim mode. But get yourself out of it, because remember, we are spiritual beings about energy, and we want to have a higher vibration. It's about creating this new identity. Comes with self-talk, affirmations, and becoming aware of what thoughts and what words you are using. Travel is a means of discovery. So in other words, go and spend some time in nature. Go and do a yoga retreat. Go and do a hiking weekend. Go and sit on a lawn and just ground yourself. Meditate. Listen to who you are. Start reading books about self-discovery, self-healing, self-love. Any of those reasons why you have a lack of identity, like a divorce, a loss, find groups you can join that are people with the same kind of experience that can help share their experience with you to help you heal. Start doing things that helps you to become aware of your thoughts, your behavior, what it is you like, what foods do you like, what colors do you like, what activities, what topics do you like to talk about, what kind of movies do you like to watch, where do you like to spend most of your time, what kind of career is it that you're into, what kind of talents do you have, what skills have you got, what new skills you want to learn as part of that self-discovery. Finding your new identity, because you could come out of a marriage or a very toxic, emotional or abusive relationship that would absolutely shatter your self-identity. You probably don't even know who the hell you are because you were so broken down. And the sad thing is that you believe what that person has told you. You need to reverse that psychology of you are amazing, you are worth it, you deserve to be loved, you are fucking amazing. You need to work on your inner work so that you can get rid of, so you can break almost that spell they had over you to treat you so badly. And you need to learn to let go of guilt. Love yourself, forgive that person, and let go. Don't live in guilt. To increase your self-awareness and to decrease comparison. Don't compare yourself with anyone else around you. Don't try to fit in to please others. Don't compare yourself with others in the sense that you are worse off, they're better than you. The jealousy factor. Your self-awareness is about your thoughts, your mental attitude. It's a mental audit. How are you feeling? What thoughts are you processing? What emotions are you feeling? What behaviors are you following that are sabotaging to yourself? Aware of your self-sabotaging habits and actions and trigger thoughts that you have. You need to step into your power. You need to master your mindset, your mind thoughts, your mind process, the words that you are using and thinking. Only you can change it, but through self-awareness and no longer comparing, no jealousy, let go, send it out with love. Practice self-love and self-care, self-nurture. I find that a lot of women don't really love themselves and take care of themselves. They put everyone else first. They put themselves last. I have a very good friend, and over Christmas, she developed a very, very bad inner ear infection. And yet she still invited her whole family to come over for lunch. And she's in her 70s. And she phoned me 2 days later and she told me that she passed out and her blood pressure dropped and it was really bad. And she's totally exhausted and fatigued. She couldn't even get out of bed because she didn't give herself time to heal. And I said to her, I know you love your family. To tell everybody to please contribute by all maybe bringing foods and snacks, whatever, so that you don't have to do all the cleaning up, the preparing, of course cleaning up afterwards as well when you are in a state of exhaustion and adrenal fatigue from the year. I'll leave the link down below of adrenal fatigue, one of the videos I've done before. I also totally identify with adrenal fatigue because I went through a stage where enough wasn't enough. I just kept on doing more. It's almost like a lack of self-worthiness. And once you become aware of it, you can start making the shifts and changes. Self-care is about taking care of yourself, making sure you get a decent night's sleep, that you are eating healthy food, you're making time to exercise, you're making time to educate yourself by reading good books, or it's about you using your time wisely to benefit you. So self-care would definitely be as well about your moods. Monitor your moods. If you feel your moods are taking a dip, ask yourself, why are you feeling down? What is it? How can you shift and change it? Don't allow yourself that downward spiral. Ask yourself what it is that's upsetting you, what's triggered you, and then to start working on it. Do affirmations. Ask yourself, how differently can you handle it? Can you approach it differently? Do you need to say no in the future, not repeat that certain behavior again? What is it that you can do to change that? Because remember, every thought that you have can either disempower you, bringing you down, or it can empower you. So you need to be aware of your moods and your thoughts. This is about how you shift either lack of identity into creating a new identity. I hope that resonated with you.